Hello, this is Tamara Reeves, and welcome to episode 5 of The Rise of Black Wealth. The mission and vision of our show is to recognize, inspire, showcase, and empower leaders in our community from various walks of life, entrepreneurs, corporate executives, you name it. We just want to create that positive message to show that we are here and we are doing great things with a positive influence in our community. And we're so glad that you're here today because I have a wonderful, wonderful guest by the name of Shar Halliburton. Hey, Shar.
Hey, Tam, how you doing?
I am doing so great. I've been so excited about this opportunity to speak with you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited with this opportunity as well.
Good. Yes, Shar is the author of Skyrocket Your Success. She's an amazing author. She talks about the 10 keys to refocus and reclaim your purpose. And we're going to really dig deep today. She's got so much to share with us. She's the owner of her own publishing company, but there's so much that we want to unpack when it comes to talking with Shar Halliburton. So let's talk about this, Shar. How about you give us a little background about yourself before we get started?
Okay, so my name is Shar Halliburton, but I go by Shar. And it's been a journey. So this is my book, Skyrocket Your Success. Now, I've been wanting to write a book for so long. Since I was a little girl, I always wanted to write a book. But it didn't happen until I got into my 40s, later in life. But I just talk about my journey to success, starting with growing up, in the church. And that was a very, very important part of my background because from the beginning, I was separate, I was set aside. Yeah. And, growing up in school and where people know that you're different, it just, it kind of sets a precedence for you, in the beginning of your life. So I've always been set aside, and throughout my life, I've always had to prove myself. Yeah. I prove that, I'm just like the next person, but I just have a relationship with Jesus Christ.
There you go. That's excellent. So you already knew early on in your life, you're saying that you were different. And yes, there was some sort of calling on your life. Was it easy for you from the beginning, early on in your childhood or middle school or high school, to kind of know what direction and what purpose that God had for you? Or how did you come to understand who you are, not only in Christ, but as an individual, as a leader?
It took some unpacking. It took some time. Now, this is one thing about me. I was always good at doing a lot of different things. I've always been creative. I remember thinking back in elementary school, I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to be a teacher. And then when I got into high school, I started really getting into writing and journalism. I thought I was going to be a journalist, but, throughout life, life happens and things change. You can start thinking that you're going to do one thing in life, but then things happen and you end up doing a lot of different things as far as a career. Because you can, like I said, in your mind, you can say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a doctor. But then 10 years down the road, you are doing something totally different. So I just evolved, over time.
Yeah. Because it's interesting. You don't wake up one day and say, I'm going to write a book. Right. And here it is. And I want you all to read about it. There must have been some amazing journey that you had to go on, because I'm going to tell you, like you said, we go to college. I went to Michigan State University, and I believe you did too. If I'm
yes.
Right. We just kind of missed each other, but that's good. Yes, go Spartans. Okay.
Go green.
Go green.
Go white.
Yeah, go white. It's like, you go to school, you have one purpose in mind. And several people that I know have changed majors multiple times. So you go to college, you graduate, and then what was it like for you coming out of college? Did you know right off what you were going to be doing? You had a major, I believe, in communications. How did that go for you?
Okay, so when I graduated, I started out with public relations. So I had an internship. And so I'm thinking that this internship is going to turn into a full-time job, which it did. But 6 months into that job, I got laid off. And so I was not prepared for that. Because, you know, growing up, they say, go to school, get your degree, get a job, and then you start moving up in the, you know, moving up the corporate ladder. So I said, okay, I have this job in public relations, and I was, you know, making contacts, but then I got laid off. And being laid off right after college, you know, I was kind of confused. So I had to kind of feel my way through. And I just started, you know, doing what I had to do to survive. I wasn't just gonna sit there. That's not in my personality. Like, okay, I don't have a job in my field. I just have to find something in my field or I'm not gonna work at all. That was never a part of me. I just knew that I had to work and do, you know, something that would, you know, allow me to, you know, have a decent living. Sure. So after I got laid off from PR, I was a substitute teacher in Southfield Public Schools for 2 years. So that was an interesting journey. I really love what, you know, teaching. And early on, I was a building sub. So I was at one school and I started building relationships with the teachers, the students, and I loved it. And I was like, well, maybe I'll go back to school and get my certification in education.
Right.
So I started researching it, and then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I don't want to get any student loans. Because loan debt is something else. So I said, I don't want to get any student loans. So I just kept, you know, working the teacher job. And then in the summer, I went to go purchase a car at Mail Fire. And so when I purchased the car, my salesperson was like, you know, we're hiring and you need a job. I think you'll be a good salesperson. And I said, you think so? He told me yes. So I applied for the job, got hired. So I started selling cars. And I would have never thought that I would be a car saleswoman because I was, you know, pretty prissy. You know, when you sell cars, you had to pop the hood and, you know, get dirty a little bit. And that really wasn't my thing. Yeah. So, but it was interesting. It was one of the most fun jobs that I've ever had.
That's amazing.
It was one of the most fun jobs that I've ever had.
Okay. So never knew you'd arrive at that point. And so it worked well for you. You uncovered some hidden talent within yourself. You already had the communications and the ability to speak well and all that, considering PR. So you had some of those skills inside, and that led you to being a car salesperson. How long were you selling cars?
Just under a year. Because in selling cars, I met an insurance agent which will do the deals. You know, so when you sell a car, you have to make sure your customer has insurance. So I met an insurance agent that I would work with on my deals, and she was telling me that she was telling her boss about me, and her boss wanted me to come in and meet him. And she's like, you know, you'll be a good insurance agent. And again, I said, you think so? And so I went, one day I had, during my lunch, I went to meet her boss, and I ended up getting hired on the spot. And then that's how I got into insurance. And I've been in insurance sales for almost 20 years.
Amazing. We have that in common as well. I haven't really delved into talking about too much about myself, but I am an insurance agent too on the side.
Oh, wow.
You know,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I do life insurance. And it just goes along, Shar, with what you're saying in terms of reinventing yourself. I mean, you know, we it's this whole, what is it? Opportunity meets preparation, right?
Yes.
And that yields success. I mean, there are certain skills that people are seeing within you that just takes you from one level to the next. And it's all a part of your purpose. This is kind of what I'm seeing and understanding and how you're describing your journey thus far. You never know what's in there, but sometimes other people can pull out of you things you didn't even know that were there. Am I right?
Exactly. They can see it in you and you're looking like, I'm not sure. But some people can see things, and that's a gift that they have to pull out the gift in you.
Wow. So I'm loving this. So leading into the book, Skyrocket Your Success, And I promised you that when, we were preparing for the interview that I would not give too much about this book away, but there are some key elements that I wanted to tap on, especially as it relates to the definition of success. This jumped out at me when I was reading your synopsis. Oftentimes, right, we look and say, success means more money, more possessions, more this, more that, whatever it means. And it's like we're constantly on this path to try to achieve the ultimate goal. But tell me what your definition of success is, how you define it in your book, because this is life-changing.
Yes. Success to me is personal. I mean, we know that success means the achievement of a goal. Most people agree to that. But everybody has their own personal definition of success. I've done it for this book, Skyrocket Your Success. I've done research and asked people, what does success mean to you? Some people say success means to be able to make money outside of my 9-to-5 job. Success means that I can spend time with my family. Success means that I can pay my bills and just be happy. Sometimes success is fulfillment, but I believe that success is the attainment, a continuous attainment of goals, so that you are able to meet your calling in life, your purpose. Mm-hmm. Success will lead you to purpose. I believe that in the personal definition of success, it's ever changing. It keeps growing. You don't just say, okay, success is just achievement of a goal and that's it. But it's a continual achievement after achievement, because once you complete one goal or achieve one goal, it continues to grow. So it's ever changing and it's ongoing.
I love that. I love that. Every seed that we plant toward the ultimate vision and mission for our lives, right? That is success. You can say, okay, today I'm going to do this. I'm going to plant this seed that will yield this. And it's a goal that you've reached. That means success. I like that because we talk about, looking at the big picture, and sometimes we can't contain the view of the big picture. You know what I mean? It's like it's too big or intimidating. Mm-hmm. It's intimidating, but if we take it in small chunks and reward ourselves internally or however you see fit to say, you know what? I planted some good seeds today. I'm that much closer to my ultimate goal. This is my success, right?
Right. Yeah. It is a step-by-step process. Yeah. It's, like what you're saying, planting seeds. And then when you plant seeds, and then sometimes God gives you a vision of where you will be down the road. And sometimes it's intimidating and scary because sometimes we may be self-conscious. We may not be fully into our future goals. You know what I'm saying? Like you can say, okay, I want to do that, but we may just have we just make tiptoe a little bit and kind of see a glimpse of what's happening. But sometimes we get overwhelmed when we step back like, oh, am I ready for that? Because sometimes it can be scary. There are so many people that are scared of success because once you start achieving success, there are other expectations. People start expecting things from you, and then you start expecting things for yourself, and you have to keep leveling up. You can't keep going back. Sometimes our fear will make us, draw back, but success makes us continually achieve and set new goals for achievement.
This is what I'm talking about. This is powerful, what you're saying. It's leveling up. You know what? I love it because in your book, you also talk about self-sabotage. We've gotten to this level, like you said, people are calling on us. And now we have to level up and we have to keep our mindset straight and our prayer life strong to be able to up and surpass this level that we're at, because now we're inspiring others and we're bringing others up with us, yet we still have other goals that we want to attain. But there comes this self-sabotage that tries to cause us to unwind and undo and unravel what we've achieved. Expound on that for us.
Sure. Self-sabotaging behaviors are dream killers. And it starts with that negative thought, that seed of a negative thought in your head. So you can have a negative thought, but it can grow in your mind and develop into something that can stop you. And these are emotional blockers that stop us from achieving success. Like that negative mindset, doubt. Once doubt creeps in and you don't fight against it, it keeps growing and growing and growing. And the next thing you know is 10 years down the line, you know? So we have to, when we have these negative thoughts, we have to immediately fight it with a positive thought. We don't need to let those fester, because those negative thoughts, it'll have you living in the past, and you're not able to move forward into your destiny.
That is amazing. That is amazing. You know, I actually was having a conversation with someone this past week regarding, you know, asking yourself this question. If I don't take action right now or today or this week toward my goals, what is that going to cost me a week from now? What is that going to cost me a month from now? Where will I be 3 months from now if I don't take this step today? You know, you also mentioned in your book about how we as women, and I think your mission is to really reach out to the women. And we talk about the responsibilities that we have.
Yes.
And the being a mother or a wife or a working woman. How can we get past all of the responsibilities we know that we have, balance that, and still achieve our ultimate goal?
You know what? It all boils down to self-care. We have to do the responsibilities. You know, if you're a wife, if you have, children, you have to, that's a must. You have to do that. But then we have to set aside time, even if it's a half an hour a day, or maybe, on a Saturday, 3 or 4 hours. But we have to set aside time to accomplish our goals and our dreams, because we get so wrapped up in taking care of everyone else but ourselves. So we have to intentionally set up time for yourself, even if it's like even 15 minutes a day. Even if you have to get up early, 15 minutes early in the morning when the house is quiet, or even if you have to do something when everyone is asleep, you have to intentionally, use self-care and do something for yourself, because, time does not wait for anybody.
No, it doesn't. And in terms of time, it's like there's not enough hours in the day to get everything done that I have to get done. Yes, there are enough hours, right? And it boils down to how we manage that time, how we block that time out.
Right.
Do what you're saying. Self-care. Oh my goodness. It took me into my 40s, Shar, to really understand that. I've got 3 young adult children, and I get it. So it definitely takes, I'm just thinking about it, just time management.
Yeah.
We'll sleep. You will eat. We will be able to rest. But sometimes we just have to push and go above and beyond what we feel is our capacity limit.
Right.
In order to really make this go. Because
sometimes, we say we don't have time, but we're watching TV.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Or we're doing, some things that really we don't need to, that we could be more productive with our time. So we just have to be strategic with it, though. You have to intentionally set up that time, to take care of the things that you want to do in life.
That's true. Because ultimately the question is, how badly do you want it?
That's right.
How badly do you want to change your situation?
Right.
Right?
I agree.
We have to ask ourselves that. Like I said, what is it going to cost you to watch the 3rd episode of a Netflix movie or show, right?
Right.
What is it going to cost you if you have to go to another gathering with friends when you know you have things on your list that are going to propel you forward? What is it going to cost you?
Right. And just think, you taking that 15 minutes per day. Just take 15 minutes a day. It'll get you, further. 15 minutes here, 15 minutes that time adds up. And just doing a little bit step by step every day, you'll get to, accomplish your goals.
I love it. Let's talk about your publishing company. It sounds to me in my reading about you that you're not just focusing on building clientele within your publishing company, but it's more of an educational approach. Am I right about that?
Yes. I love education. And, even when I was teaching, I really love teaching. And so my thing is, I want to set you up for success. So I want to be able to provide tools and resources so that when you are ready to publish, you already know what to look for and not go into it blindly. Because so many people are being taken advantage of because they don't know. They're so anxious to become an author, you know? I mean, that's prestige in it. You know, I'm an author. You know, people want to become an author, but they don't know the steps a lot of times. And then a lot of people are signing up with these vanity publishing companies that may present a contract to them, and they're taking advantage of them. So my main thing is to educate so that you know what's going on, what to look for when you're self-publishing versus, you know, a traditional publishing deal. So, you know, I just want to educate so you'll know what to look for so that you're not taken advantage of in the process.
Excellent, excellent. How can people reach out to you? And we'll have some links at the bottom as well, but just verbally, how can people reach out to you for more on your educational program for writers and how to get published successfully?
You can reach out to me the easiest way, Instagram at Q like with Shar, D like Detroit Publishing, QD Publishing. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. And also, you can find me at www.shar, S-H-A-R, Halliburton, HALLIBURTON.com.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, Shar, that is amazing. So I wanted to talk about the other book that I've seen written by you called, it's about procrastination, Everything They Won't Tell You About Procrastination. Is that your first book that you've written, or how does...
Yes, that's the first book that I wrote. And to tell you, because it's been a journey, Skyrocket Your Success, I started writing this book over 2 years ago, but a lot of the time I spent was doing research about writing a book. And I had a survey that I did. And I asked people about success. And I said, what is stopping you from becoming successful in life? And 41%, over 41%, like 41.23 or something, said that procrastination was stopping them from being successful. Just waiting, you know, that delay, because sometimes we'll hold off on following our dreams because it could be something like we don't know the process, because of fear, because of insecurities. Some of those self-sabotage behaviors keep popping up, and it's, you know, making us be at a standstill in life. So I talked about that procrastination, how it was a problem for me. I just kept waiting, kept putting it off till later and saying, okay, I'll do it later. But when you say that, time is passing you by. Mm-hmm. And, you know, all the while when I was, you know, waiting on things, I started getting depressed because I was like, why is everybody else getting ahead of me and I'm at a standstill? Oh. You know, I had my 9-to-5 job. I was doing fine in it, but I know God had some goals and dreams outside of my 9-to-5 that I needed to accomplish, but I kept procrastinating. And so because I know it was a big problem for me, and when I reached out to people in the surveys, they said it was a big problem for them. So I said, you know what, let me write a short book about procrastination and 9 steps to reverse the curse of procrastination.
Ooh, power-packed. Okay, that is so good. It is a major success killer, procrastination. Major success killer. No way. Oh my God. I got to get my hands on that one. Now that one I have to read that.
Okay. I'll send it to you.
Thank you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay.
And so let me give you a few of the ways to stop to reverse the curse of procrastination. So the first thing to do is to pray and ask God for guidance in accomplishing our goals. Sometimes we don't know how to accomplish our goals, but if we just get clarity and pray and ask God for assistance, He'll put people in your path to help you.
Yes.
The second thing is when you have an idea, immediately write that idea down. Don't delay, write it down and start thinking of plans and steps so that you can accomplish your goals. Mm-hmm. And that brings me to the next, write out a concrete plan of action and do something day by day. You don't have to do it all in one day. Just do little things day by day, because that adds up and it'll, you know, make you more productive. And the biggest thing, remove distractions. Distractions can just, you know, and distractions can be people too. Sometimes you're trying to accomplish goals and somebody's like, okay, come on, let's hang out. Or, you know, somebody may try to say, oh, don't do that, do this. But when you identify your distractions and move them out the way, then you'll be more productive as well.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I can name several distractions right now. Instagram, Facebook, Netflix. Oh my God. Come on, Snapchat.
Yes.
Before you know it, we could be so busy looking into everybody else's lives that 2 or 3 hours have gone by and we've been scrolling and reading and looking, and the clock is just a ticking.
Right. It's like you get hypnotized once you get on social media and you don't realize it, like, oh my God, this is wasting my time. But you, like you're saying, you're scrolling and it's like 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, time for dinner. And then, it's time to get ready for tomorrow.
Exactly. We got to cut it out. This is why we are doing these shows, because we have to know we're not alone in this out here. Everyone typically behaves the same way. And a lot of it is self-sabotaging. We have to change that. That way we're not out here wondering why we're in the same position we've been in. It starts with us. And before I end too, I wanted to talk to you. I meant to tap into this element. You mentioned that sometimes we have a tendency to compete with others unknowingly. Yes. What do you mean by that?
So I'm saying, for instance, if we're scrolling through Facebook and you see, oh, this person is doing that. Well, I can do that too. Sometimes we don't intentionally do it, but because we don't know what our purpose is, we're like, okay, this person's doing that, they're being successful, maybe I should do this too. And that's not our lane that we should be in. And you're spinning your wheels, watching what somebody else is doing, thinking that you're motivated. Okay, I can do that too, but that's not your calling. So, we just have to know what our calling is. And you can get into your 30s or 40s and still not know what your calling is. But an easy way to know what your calling is, think about the things that you're good at. What does your friends, or what do people always ask you for help with? Because those are some of your gifts that people ask you for help with. Maybe it's help organizing something or brainstorming this. But we do have goals and dreams. We just have to seek a little bit deeper and find out what our goals are and stop worrying about what other people are doing and just focus on what your journey should be to success.
Excellent. One of the key indicators in terms of you not being in the lane that was designed for your life, you mentioned this too. Say you have a corporate job or the job that you're working on right now. You go in and you're so unfulfilled. And I know this is the majority of people, but, talk to us about how we go in, we're grateful for the position because it's putting food on the table, but you feel so incomplete and you feel so underutilized. Talk to us about that, knowing that we're not necessarily in the lane that we're supposed to be in.
Right. So for many years, I felt like that in corporate America. I just felt like I was in a position, I was performing fine, no problems there, but it's a deep down feeling like, it's something much more for you. This is, it's much more for you. So you get like, it's like you become hypnotized, just like a zombie, a corporate zombie, going to your 9 to 5. And it's just like you're doing what you need to do at work, but deep down, you feel like there's a calling or something else. You have different, you just feel like you just don't belong. So when you start feeling that way, you need to address what that is and kind of, figure out what's going on. What should I be doing? And that's where your prayer life comes into place. You pray and ask God, like, if I'm not supposed to be here, open up an opportunity for whatever my goal, whatever my purpose is to be manifested. Because I felt like that for many years. I'm just, going through the routine, 9 to 5, but feeling like there's something else. And it would cause me to have insomnia. I couldn't sleep at night because I was scared. I was fearful of what would happen because I'm kind of like a control freak. I want to know what's going on, and when you can't see down the road and can't see the path clear because we're doing this on our own and not letting God come into the, to the picture. When we start to kind of imagine, we start having these this imagination and start thinking of all the stuff what could happen when we're not on the right road, when we're not in our lane. So that's why you pray and ask God for clarity, so that he can put the people in your path and order our footsteps. Because that is get stuck in a 9-to-5 job and kind of scared because you don't know what to expect, when you reach out, outside of your normal comfort zone and, start doing the things that you're called to do.
Sure. Well said. What is next for Shar? What's next?
Well, I'm in the process right now. I have a lot of things on my plate. And my 9-to-5, like I said, I'm still an insurance agent. So for the rest of this year, it's going to get busy because, open enrollment. But I've been working on creating an online course for self-publishing so people can learn about self-publishing. I am going to create a podcast for new authors, just to, shine the light on new authors and, just provide those resources. And I also want to do a Skyrocket Your Success conference for women, for professional women. Because as women, we're encouraged to follow our dreams, but sometimes we're not ready. So we just need something to address the things that are stopping us from following our dreams. So I want next year, I don't know if it's going to be a full-blown conference. It may be a workshop. And then as we build, I want to have a conference for women, Skyrocket Your Success Conference.
Sign me up. That's going to be great. Very, very good. Lots of good things. Shar, I really appreciate this. This is just the tip of the iceberg, you all. I really encourage you to get a copy of her book, the short books, even regarding procrastination. There's another one too, the Living a Non-Negotiable Lifestyle. We didn't even talk about that one. Is that an ebook? What is that?
No, actually, it's a paperback. It is an anthology. So about 15 or 20 authors talked about living a non-negotiable lifestyle when it comes to success. What are some of the non-negotiables that you have? And what are some of the things that you have to do to level up? So let me give you a couple of those things.
Sure.
The first thing is create a productive morning routine, because most successful people get up early and they do all the hard tasks first. So create a productive morning routine so that you're more productive. Another thing I talk about is be yourself, be authentically you. You don't have to copy or be like the next person. You are beautiful for women. You are beautiful. You are authentic. God gave you certain gifts and talents, and focus on what you need to be doing and stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. And the last thing, go get happy. So many times in life, we are living from day to day and we're sad and we're like saying, I'll be happy if this, I want to do this. But start doing the things that make you happy in life so that you can live a fulfilled life and not just hoping and wishing, that things will change for you. You have to make some things happen for you sometimes. You have to intentionally do things so that you can be happy and live your best life now. Stop waiting 10, 15 years down the road. When I get 50, I'm gonna do this. No, start doing the things now so that you can live a full, productive life.
I love that. You know what? We've been trying to find the way to happiness, but happiness is the way.
I wanted to say something about the name of your podcast, The Rise of Black Wealth. I love that name because it just, really speaks to me, because I'm thinking about a lot of times we're looking for wealth in our 9-to-5 jobs, but wealth is inside of us. We all have gifts that God has given us for us to monetize on those gifts. Sometimes we may be afraid and may not know exactly what it is, but once you find those gifts, we need to start working on those gifts and start to understand that the wealth is inside of us.
Wow. Thank you, Shar. Thank you so much. Yes. My husband, Lauren, came up with that title through a Facebook group that he created about 2 years ago, and maybe 2 years ago. And so just recently, it's like, why not? Why not do this YouTube channel? I've always wanted to do one, and God has really been blessing it. I really appreciate you for saying that, because that really hones in on our definite mission and vision. Wealth is inside of us. It can be monetary. It can be health.
Right.
Us giving back. It is just complete abundance is what we want to speak on, hone in on, and focus on. So thank you for saying that. I'm so glad that you spent this time with me today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, girl.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.